A lot of people said you did good during the debate night. Do you feel glad?
Yeah, I feel really glad, especially after the last debate. I feel like I didn't get a chance to lay out my vision for the economy of the country. I feel like I did this time, so it's great. But
What do you think about? What do you think about? Sorry, I just want one question. Just one question. Okay. Why do you think that we need to have a news ombudsman in America?
We're just about to enter the era of deep fakes where we're not going to be able to make heads or tails of the stuff we're seeing online. And we know the Russians have already been hacking us. It's going to get worse when literally you could have a picture of me saying words, a video, and it could be something that gets doctored. So we need to start having countermeasures in place. That's why I believe in it.
Do you think it's really good to be policing the press, though, and speech?
I'm sorry, we gotta go, guys.
Do you think it's good to be policing free speech?
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, so good seeing you.
Yang, is it really a good idea to be policing the press?
Not gonna answer tonight. Thank you.
The goal is to protect the American people.
All right.
But isn't it, you guys are supposed to protect our rights, right? As Americans, our right to free speech and free press. Would you silence journalists because they report news? I mean, who gets to decide who's reporting fake news or real news? Andrew Yang, who gets to decide who gets to be allowed to report the news? Who's allowed to, who decides who gets to be a journalist and who doesn't?
Thank you. You remember me from the in Atlanta?
Hold on one second. Congratulations again.
You did amazing today.
Andrew Yang, what policies do you want to institute for gun control? Isn't that infringing on the Second Amendment?
Excuse us, we're just gonna go.
Do you believe in the Constitution and upholding the Constitution, Andrew Yang?
Have a great night.
Yeah. There he goes, Andrew Yang. He wants to have a news ombudsman to pick and choose who gets to be a journalist in America, to silence people and hold them criminally for reporting news that someone, I don't know who, decides it's fake or real. This is the dangerous slippery slope because we have half of Americans saying leftist news outlets are fake news and half of Americans saying that right-wing outlets are fake news. So who gets to decide, Andrew Yang, who gets to report the news? What happened to free speech and freedom of press? Isn't a news ombudsman fascist? Isn't a news ombudsman un-American? How can you claim to be moderate if you want to police speech? How are you going to pay for the $1,000 a month UBI that you want to try to give Americans? Unbelievable. So he's literally just sitting right there, doesn't want to necessarily go into why he wants to infringe on the First Amendment. Unbelievable. See, what most people don't know about Andrew Yang is that he likes to talk a lot about legalizing marijuana. He likes to talk a lot about the neat bucks, giving people $1,000 a month UBI, the more popular ideas. But he doesn't want to talk about the policies, the radical policies he has, such as having a news ombudsman that would police and regulate the press and regulate news. That is so un-American and unconstitutional. He is literally running on a policy that would violate the U.S. Constitution. His gun control regulations are extremely draconian and stringent. He wants people to have all of these different licenses and cards to be able to get guns in America and to be able to keep guns. If you want to be able to have higher caliber weapons, you have to allow people to do home inspections to inspect if you have certain gun lockers. I mean, his gun control laws are draconian. He is not moderate. He is as progressive and radical as most of the extreme left is.